Yes, crew, it is Thursday and we're back with another edition of the Emotion Room. We're covering Casemiro leaving end of the season. Was he a good signing? Was he great for Man United? Was he a great servant for the time he was here? We're going to be covering all that. Man United's revenue down an all-time low, I reckon, for the last 20 plus years. We're eighth on the list for the clubs in regards to revenue of the clubs in the world. I remember the days growing up, we were always first or second, going with Real Madrid. We're nowhere near that. We're dropping down the league, not only in football terms, but seems to be financial as well. It's sad, sad times. Will we ever come back? We're talking Zirkzee apparently going Roma and Mateta handing in a transfer request apparently. Would you swap Zirkzee for Mateta? I don't know. And also Cole Palmer saying there's some interest that he might want to come to Manchester United. Would you take Cole Palmer? Is that realistic? We're covering all of this. And of course, talking about the Arsenal game this weekend. I've got, of course, Dan Talks United, as always. Please go and subscribe to him there. He's excellent. And we've got Alex back from the Football Brotherhood. Absolutely smashed it last time he came on. How are you doing, fellas? You well?
Very good, Dave. Glad to be back. Can't wait to get into tonight, mate. And it's a good week, for United fans. We've been through a bit of hell, so yeah, I've enjoyed it.
How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, all good. Still, I think I've calmed down now, but still at a bit of a high. But obviously, until we play Arsenal, let's see.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, I'll start with you, actually. I haven't spoken to you since that City game. Obviously, that feels like ages ago now. How did you feel about that? I've heard through the murmurings that you want Carrick to sign a contract.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between a 5-year deal and trying to get like a little bit of patience back into me. No, seriously. No, a little, obviously, tongue in cheek. I think for me, and obviously, I'm speaking to you both on Saturday. I know, obviously, my brother's a City fan, so it's a biggie. It's a biggie for me. It's a biggie for everyone. You know, since they've had the money, they've been good. None of us want to lose to them, right? But yes, I think we have got to keep feet on the ground. It's one game, right? And they went and lost to Bodo Glimt, who are in a pre-season, by the way. So, look, I think I was pleased Carrick didn't do the obvious things. There was obvious things he could have done in that game. Play Sesko straight away. That he thought about the team, and I thought he did really well. They were really poor. They got diced up in transition. Their midfield's weak, man. I mean, they've got a problem in there athletic-wise. Rodri, Bernardo Silva is not a combination they can run between that. They're in a top 4 race if they continue that. Seriously, I know they've got a bit of a cushion. So, look, I was absolutely chuffed with the win because we've had 15, 16 months of looking at players not in their positions, struggling game after game, and even the wins weren't convincing under Ruben. And we got a team where I can sit there and go, they were all working. I could see the plan. They were working together as a team. They sat in when they had to. They attacked quickly. Good transition. Great counter-attack goal, by the way. Loved it. So I was really pleased. And I'm looking forward to Sunday to see, has he got another plan up his sleeve? Is there another? Is he going to just play same team? Or has he got another, Michael Cunha this game? So I'm really intrigued with it. But all in all, what a win. You beat City 2-0. Should have been 5-0. I'm chuffed, mate.
Yeah, for sure. I spoke to you about this already, Dan. And I kind of said to you, this is before City got smashed by Bodo Glimt on the old AstroTurf. I said to you that I felt like this could be another version of when we beat Liverpool, and then Liverpool were absolutely awful for the next 4 or 5 games. So it kind of just not downplayed our win. A win's a win, but it kind of made us look a bit better than we were. And I was like, I've got a feeling City have got 3 draws and a loss after us, and now they've gone and got smashed by Bodo Glimt. Let's have it right. I mean, were we getting a bit too excited, Dan?
It sort of kind of looks that way after they've lost against Bodo Glimt there. So it's a tough one to say. I think
they look good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch the game, but I saw little bits here and there, and obviously you look at the scoreline as well and think, what's happened there? Have we really destroyed them and made it happen, or is it just that City were going on a downward curve? Possibly the latter, because like you say there, the last results haven't been great. They've had a lot of draws. They've only really won in the cup, haven't they? Was it the FA Cup and the League Cup? So it's a tough one to sort of decide. But I think for me, generally speaking, both sides have both got to get up for a derby, and I don't think it matters whether one side's crap or one side's completely better than the other. It's a derby, and it's a one-off game in that sense, and it's always different. It hits different. I still maintain that we played well. He put out a good game plan, Carrick. It was simple, but it was still effective. It's something that a lot of coaches in the past couldn't do. I know that Ollie's done it in the past, but I still felt that this was different in the sense of the way we were set up, the game plan. It was executed to perfection in a sense. Okay, might have been helped by City not being as great as normal. However, we stifled Haaland, for example. Foden didn't get a kick, really. So there's a lot of their star players that didn't really do much. To sub Foden at half-time, when's that ever happened when we've played City? So I still think there's a little bit of credit there, but whether the win's as good as we thought it was after the game on Saturday, it's up for debate. It's all about the Arsenal game now because Arsenal are still on form. Obviously, they're a really good team this season. They've been maintaining that first position. So if we can get something against Arsenal, then yeah, I think we might have started to see some improvement. But you've got to keep trying to be positive. I mean, one thing I'm going to say is that I don't want to make that mistake again in regards to getting into that euphoria of Carrick at the wheel, like Ollie at the wheel, and I've got to keep the feet on the ground. But at the end of the day, I've said to you before, David, I'm going to sing when we're winning. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
I don't feel like we can win like that often, so I just want some of that nostalgia feeling coming back again, and I felt a little bit of that on Saturday, so I'm taking it while it's there.
Yeah,
so
I think we all did.
Crashing down against Arsenal. That's the
I think we all felt that on the weekend, right? I mean, I was in absolute shock. And like I said, when I watched it back, like, because obviously I was working, you guys know that, you guys were updating me throughout the day. This could sound shocking. Like, I almost cried, I swear, after watching that first goal. Because it
tears of joy.
Yeah, I said it on the last show with Dan. It was just like, oh my God, this is Man United. You know, what the hell?
We're back. We're back.
Good, so good to see. But I've still predicted, we weren't going to touch base on it, but you've kind of segued into it. I still predicted us to lose this weekend to Arsenal. That's kind of where I'm at, because I feel like City are awful at the moment, and that's a harsh word, but their form is not. That's 3 draws, a loss, and a loss, right? In the last 5 games, right?
Wow.
Say that about that's bad form for any team, right? So I mean, let's segue into it. I mean, Alex, what do you think this weekend, mate? You know, do you reckon we could get a result there? Meaning a draw at least?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, can we
do it, Alex? Do it. Go on, do it.
Oh, I'm already there, Anna. I'm already there. No, look, right. Listen, they've not lost at home all season, right? So there is. I don't want to start putting the foundations in for a loss here, because what I will say is I expect United to go there, and I expect us to be dangerous. I think we have the players and we have the bench. I don't know if you guys touched on it the other day, but the bench having Cunha come on and have that impact.
That is cool, yeah.
Well, I know we're not all big Sesko fans, but he's a different look if you need that. And we've had good benches in the past, so I think we can go there, fully fit squad for the first time, other than De Ligt. And I actually fancy us, I think in the wide areas particularly, if Lewis Skelly's playing and Diallo is on that side, I want Diallo to be at him every single transition. And then on the other side, Dorgu against Timber. I want Timber to be knackered by the hour.
Yeah.
Really quickly, Alex, would you go with the same team then? Would you go exactly the same team?
Yeah. See, this is where they are coaches and they get paid a lot more than me, and that's where I think if they do change something, I'll back them after the weekend. I probably would go same team because I think the matchups make sense to me. Certainly, Ahmad against Lewis Skelly, if it is Dorgu against whoever. Dorgu's aggressive on that press. I like that, to be honest, because I think Timber, I watched him against Chelsea and he looked a little bit leggy, to be honest. And I think they do look a bit leggy all over the place anyway. They play every single midweek. Arsenal play. We don't. I want us to get at them, honestly, and I think we can cause some problems. Now, can they beat us 2-0 with 2 set pieces? Of course they can.
Yeah.
Of course they can. And I totally get that. You're going to say they're going to win 2-0. I'm going to go that we can get something. And I'm expecting us to put in a good performance. And that's my expectation. Whether win, lose or draw, I want to create and I want to at least get one on Sunday.
Has anything changed for you, Dan? You still feel like that's a draw this weekend?
Yeah, pretty much kind of similar to what Alex is saying there. I think, again, really difficult. It's one game, and I can't believe I'm doing it to myself, but I'm getting caught up in the wave of excitement and euphoria and thinking, Carrick's at the wheel. But joking aside, I think because the way we were set up against Man City, and obviously it's very debatable how much of that is how well we were set up and how well we played in combination with how bad City were. So it's always difficult. But what I would say is that I feel if we set up in the same fashion, we start with the same team, and we have the same energy and the same will, I think we can definitely come away with a point. I know it's Emirates, and I know we struggle there, but I think we can definitely make an account for ourselves and be in that game. And I think it's all about trying to go on. Sorry,
I was just going to say, just on how we compare. This is to both of you, by the way. I was thinking about this today. I was speaking to my brother about it. Do you think we've got a better front four than Arsenal? Just player for player, because I do. I don't even think it's close.
Let me think what we got.
Well, let me tell you both. Right, goal totals this season. Arsenal have scored 40 league goals. They're the best team. They're on this 6-year project. Arteta.
We've scored a lot of goals as well, haven't we?
We scored 38. So we're too short of Arsenal, who are 6 years into this whatever phase they're in, and we're not. We're in no phase. We're in the just, going from one thing to another. What even are we? And we're 2 goals short of them. But let Dave. I want to get your take on this, because obviously Bruno Odegaard, that's laughable, right?
Yeah,
that's not
even close. Laughable.
That's not even close, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then talk to me about Trossard and Cunha. I know Dorgu could play, but you get my point. If
before you say another name, you've got to go on current form. And for me, Trossard's been sensational for them this year. I hear you on your Cunha argument, but I've got mate. I think Cunha, although you listen, he's given us great energy. He can't hit a barn door, that geezer. No. Everything he shoots doesn't hit the target. Yeah. I'm so sorry. So
I thought that was his best on. I thought when he came on, he did well.
I'm gonna go on current form. Current form, I think I have to go Trossard there. Sorry.
Okay. Ahmad Saka. I'm really interested in this one, because they're very similar player profiles, and I think one of them, Saka, is a bit smoke and mirrors. I think people just think Saka world class. I don't think that. I'm not saying Diallo is better, but I'm just saying I think they're a lot closer than people think.
I don't think Ahmad's development is anywhere near where Saka is. No. He's well.
I think Saka's output. Output's way higher for me.
He's not scoring enough goals at the moment, Saka, and even hardcore Arsenal fans would agree with that, right? But
interestingly, look. So this season and last combined, they got the same number of goals.
Exactly. But Saka, he contributes a lot in the game, doesn't he? He's constantly pestering people. He's always got his end products there as well, innit? I'm not talking about, obviously, not end product goals-wise. He always seems to find someone in the box. He can't find Gyökeres to save his life, though.
But he's good on them corners, I'll give you that.
I hear your point. And I do hear your point, but I don't think you can put Ahmad ahead of Saka.
So last one.
Or if ever.
Gyökeres versus Bumo or Sesko? I don't think I ain't having Gyökeres.
Yeah, you've got to go in Bumo, but just based on goals, even though I think, are they level now? Maybe Sesko's got one more than him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough one for sure. But again, that's going based off form. If you was to pick in the summer, if we were in the summer and someone said to me, Ruben Amorim's my manager, who do I want, Gyökeres or Sesko? I would have picked Gyökeres.
I agree.
He's been, I mean, not to go back to Man City, when they signed Haaland, right? Pep Guardiola completely changed the way he played football and created a team that fed Haaland, right? And to be fair to him, he went and won the treble off of that and Premier Leagues. Not to go too far into that, I feel like he needs to start going back now to what worked before that. Because I feel like this whole looking for Haaland, feeding Haaland, when it doesn't work, it's like they don't have an answer after that. So I feel like they need to go back to the old Man City where they dominated games, had goals from everywhere. Do you know what I mean? But this isn't the Man City show, so fuck Man City. Sorry, Christian. I'll have a bit more respect when they're here, right? But in regards to Arteta, he needs to do that a little bit for Arsenal, where he needs to start looking at Gyökeres that he can get. But Gyökeres is not doing himself any favours.
No.
I mean, the jokes are all there, innit? He looks like he's wearing Timberlands when he's playing. But I mean, he's got the goal record, and people knock the Portuguese league. I mean, even if you have 20% of those goals, it's still goals, but he doesn't seem to be producing at all. So it's hard to put him ahead of Mbeumo. And Mbeumo's been great for us this season, hasn't he?
Top, I think he's been brilliant. Dan, what do you think about the front four versus? And I think the thing I was pointing on there is the gap between Odegaard and Bruno. We can go Saka, Ahmad, Cunha, Trossard, and it's like, however, the number 10 comparison, there isn't one. So if I'm looking at a collective and I'm getting Bruno, I'm taking United's front four all day. What do you think, Dan, on that?
Yeah, I think overall, I'd go with ours. It's one of those where if someone says, "Would you completely swap theirs for ours?" And I wouldn't. And I know people are like, "What do you mean they've got Saka?" Or "What do you mean?" I mean, maybe not Martinelli, but they've got Gyökeres, who you wanted. But I think if you were doing swap for swap, all the players for ours, I'd stick with our front four. Personally, because I think again, I wouldn't swap Mbeumo. I know obviously Cunha's not there yet, but I think if we get more at Cunha, because like if you were gonna bring Martinelli in for them, no for me, no to Martinelli. I think Gyökeres, like you say, hasn't converted from the Portuguese league. Maybe he needs to the end of the season. We might get the Gyökeres next season. Maybe, I don't know. But looking at him currently, I think Sesko's got a higher ceiling potentially. I know we haven't seen much from him, but potentially with his age and what you've seen him produce in the Bundesliga, there's potential that he's got a higher ceiling than Gyökeres. Gyökeres is kind of not coming to the end of his career. That's a bit extreme, but I think he's probably got to his peak sort of area now. So what else can you get from Gyökeres? So I don't know. The different players
heavy.
anyway.
He looks heavy,
he does. He does. Looks clunky. He looks heavy. He looks like he just all he's really getting is like tap-ins. He's not really doing what he was doing in Portugal for me. I think fast breakaways and stuff. Sporting, there was like nice fast breakaways and stuff, but I don't see that with him. But again, it's adapting to him though, isn't it? I don't think Arsenal, like City, were used to sort of playing through a number 9 because everybody kept saying Arsenal need a number 9. Arsenal need a number 9. They
never played with one,
and they all want Havertz back. So it's like you can't win.
I see your point. I do see your point on the front four. It's just hard. It is hard to argue it because one team's like, top of the Premier League and the other one doesn't know whether they're coming or going.
A lot of that for me is foundation though, isn't it? Because obviously
this is where
Rice,
I'm going now.
I mean, and then their centre backs are unbelievable, aren't they?
Yeah, you come off of that and you've just got to go Rice and their 2 centre backs. And there it is. This is where United, this is it. I mean, it's again, I've used the word segue again, but it's proper put us into how do you fix United? For goodness sakes, where do Arsenal straight away beat us tomorrow? Wait, is it tomorrow? What day are we today? No, today's Thursday.
Sunday.
Where do they beat us? And it's midfield. It's their defence.
Oh, of course.
And it wouldn't shock me for Rice to cross the ball in from a corner and Gabriel to score a header.
Oh.
And we lose 1-0, we lose 2-0. And we're talking about these front four. And it just doesn't matter, does it? Especially not this season. It seems like set piece. We talk about Arsenal being set piece FC. So are we. Well, I mean, remember the long throws early on in the season? You still see them, but I mean, this whole season
we improve from set pieces, didn't we?
We have.
In
we
terms
got
of
rid of
defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
So I think we have improved, but you're right. They're the masters at it. And when Gabriel's on fire, it's hard to stop him. He's good in the air. He knows where to be. And those crosses from Rice, those out swingers or the in swingers, they're crazy. And they drop it right on the keeper. I don't know if Le Mans is ready for that or not. I don't know.
Well, that's how they beat us in that opening game of the season, didn't they? We actually played quite well in that game. I wasn't one of the ones celebrating how we played. We lost to Arsenal. We lost to fucking Arsenal. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, we did ourselves proud. We look It's the opening game of the fucking season, Crack on, But they beat us that way because we had Bayern in goal,
Oh,
I would hope we've improved on that. You would hope with Le Mans, and we have. So technically, you'd think, we can come away from this game with a draw, like you suggested, Dan. But to summarize that game, I think you guys have hit the nail on the head there. I think we lose that on set pieces, unfortunately. Maybe a 2-0. a 1-0, a 2-0. That's where I'm going with it. Dan,
Yeah.
final prediction for that game?
Well, Arsenal game, as in
Yeah.
scoreline, you mean?
Yeah, well, as in, go on, go for a
Yeah,
little score.
well, to be honest, I think I'm still gonna try and be relatively positive and still go with a draw. I'm toying between sort of, will it be, I won't say high scoring, but sort of feeling will it be sort of 1-1, 2-2, something like that.
Yeah,
I can't.
Score
Nothing's
draw.
really come to me yet. Still think it'll be a score draw because I think we'll score, but I also think they'll score because I don't know if we can keep them out from corners.
When have we not conceded, for God's sakes? Like,
well, this is the problem, and I think even maybe
last
even a
weekend
free
actually,
kick,
isn't it?
Well, yeah. Even a free kick though.
Yeah. Go on, Alex.
I'm going to go balls to it. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to ride the wave, mate. I'm going to ride it. I'm not saying anything about Carrick, but I just think, honestly, I'm not just saying it. I think Dorgu and Diallo coming inside again to bolster Mainu and Casemiro. And I think I commented on your video, your stream on Monday, about the use of Ahmad, Mainu, and Bruno in the same team. I know it's one game. I get that small sample size, but Ten Hag throws Diallo out. Ruben throws Mainu out.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruno's been a mainstay. Okay, I get that. That was one of the few games we've probably had all three on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah.
And you saw the patterns of play, and Cunha he sharpened his touch up, didn't he, when he came on? You got that tick-attacker where Cherky just give up. But look, right, they've all got to play well. Like, there's no doubt. They've not lost at home all season. So I'm saying that we're going to go and do something nobody else has. So I get how mental it is. But can we be perfect off the ball? That's for me, that 4-4-2 shape dropping in. I'm really hopeful for it, Dave. So come on, 2-1 United. Let's
that point you made on Ahmad, Mainu, and Bruno. Like, there's something in it, isn't there? Because they're all good on the ball. Like, they're all good on the ball technically.
The more good players you have, the easier it is to keep it.
Playing your best players, but play them in the right positions as well. And we haven't been doing that.
I don't want to talk about Amarim. I say that every time we do a fucking show, but he had half the fucking squad out of position every single game. You know.
Well, our best player
and simple instructions as well. Simple instructions as well.
Well, that always helps. Yeah, for sure.
Can I just ask you both, just quickly before I know you got things to move on to, Dave? Just you did a great Bruno segment, by the way. I absolutely loved it, and I just want to talk very quickly about Bruno. And obviously, exceptional against Burnley when he came back from injury. Man of the match for me at the weekend against City. I thought he was outstanding. And he's been playing this deeper role, and we've all not been happy about it. And rightly so. It's not made any sense. Now he's back as a number 10, 4-4-2 off the ball. Do you think, when I'm watching Bruno in this last couple of games, even this season overall, I've not felt like the Hollywood ball over kill has been there. And I wonder if him playing in that deeper role has unlocked something. He seems to play the game at a slower pace, but still not slowing us down. He picks the right passes, but he's still hitting the Hollywood ones. I think he's got better this season, Bruno. I don't know what you both think about it. Is this deeper role another string to his bow, maybe? I don't know.
My opinion on that, sorry, Dan, I'll let you go in this. My opinion on that is, I mean, when I used to play 5-a-side, 7-a-side, right? If I had players around me, I'm not Bruno Fernandes, but hear me out on this one. If I had players around me, I looked better, right? Because I had passes to make. I could play around people, yeah? But when I didn't have players around me, I wasn't the best at beating people, so I'd always look up and look for a long-range pass, right? Now, how does that go with Bruno? I feel like in that deeper position, he's finding it hard to have players around him compared to when he's higher up the pitch. When he's high up the pitch, he's got options. He's got wing backs coming up. He's got the striker in front of him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly what you mean.
Deeper, he's constantly like, oh my god. He's not the best at beating players, is he? He's not.
No.
He's good at dummying and maybe just feinting someone to get an extra yard. But
sneaky quick though in transition.
I said that in that segment, right? He is quick on the counter, but I'm talking about dropping his shoulder and beating someone. That's not really his game. Right. So to answer that, in my opinion, I think when he's deeper, he wants to affect the game. And the only way he can in that deeper role is the Hollywood pass. Whereas further up the pitch, he's just got options. And when Bruno's got options, he's the best. He's one of the best number 10s in the world, if not. But I don't know what you think, Dan. That's what I think.
No, I think at first, I think he was very much like that. And I think he was all over the pitch still. And I'm not saying he still isn't, but I think, I don't know if this is what Alex was trying to say. I think before putting him back to number 10, I think he was starting to get a bit of discipline, I felt, to what, like the last few games, where I felt like he wasn't popping up at right back as much and left back and all these other places that he used to pop up in. And then I think, don't get me wrong, defensively, he was still lacking, don't get me wrong, in terms of losing his man at times and that sort of thing. And maybe even sometimes sort of pulling out of 50-50s even there and that sort of thing. It's just not his game. But I think in terms of like passing, I thought he calmed down a little bit in terms of passing. And I think there was a lot more sort of orchestrating things. Because again, if you see, you don't always see it on certain camera angles on Sky and stuff, but if you do manage to see clips or if you get someone sending their video footage who's been at the grounds, you can see him pointing. And I think, obviously, if people start to get on his wavelength where he doesn't have to think about pointing into space and he can actually play naturally, I think you'll see even better Bruno again. And I think I said it to you, I think, in our stream last show, where I thought that Bruno had probably started to dwindle. But then when we watched him play against City, it felt like almost like the old Bruno again.
He ran the show.
Not quite as explosive as he was when he first came, but I suppose he's calmed down and matured anyway. So I thought just the cleverness of his play, positioning, just keeping the ball ticking over, I think that was looking really good for me. And I think if he plays higher up, like you're both saying, I think he can sort of more risks, I suppose, and he could be a bit more measured when he's playing that number 10 position. I don't like him in the deeper position, but his numbers were still good.
Yeah.
His numbers were
he was still producing,
I thought he had a sneaky, decent season in that sixth role in that abomination of a system. I don't think he was actually that. People
not
ran
as
off
bad
him,
as people thought,
I thought it was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be terrible with him in there, and it actually wasn't. And props to him, by the way. That says a lot about the guy, to be honest, that he managed to find, because that Europa League final, him and Cass were terrible. But this season, I mean, I've been so impressed with Bruno. But anyway, just wanted to piggyback on what you two were saying. And he's a big game player, man. And Sunday's a big game. So let's see what Bruno's got Sunday.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's it. That's a great finish on that, because if he steps up in any game, Bruno, we got a chance. It's as simple as that. That's how big he is for us or any team. If he has a good game, I don't think we lose the game. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. But there has been some games in his United time, and you just spoke about that Spurs final. He was shocking in that final. He let me down big time. But we won't go back over old ground.
But they all were.
They all were. And it stemmed from the manager standing in the tunnel shitting himself, you know? He just didn't have
infection.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Poison. I called him poison on the last show. I was behind the man, but you look at it in hindsight, the geezer was fucking poison, you know? He just didn't have it. He wasn't ready for the job. But speaking of Bruno, you know, will he leave at the end of the season? Who knows? But there is one man that is leaving, guys. And it's this fella. Ooh. Casemiro announced today, I will carry Manchester United with me throughout my entire life. Some will look at that as he has to say that. Others will believe him. I kind of believe him. He's quite passionate when he plays for us.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
I really like Casemiro. Wrong signing, wrong time. Came to United at the wrong point of his career. Who knows? I'm going to go to you now, guys. Dan, you probably have to leave at some point, so let's go to you first. What's your reflection looking at Casemiro here now? You know, hanging up that 18 shot. I know it's not over. He's got the rest of the season, and he'll probably crop up and score a goal on the weekend, and I'd love to see it, right? From a set piece. But what's your thoughts on Casemiro, mate?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed one in a sense. So I think it's one of those where obviously he's come slightly too late in his career, maybe. A little bit like Varane for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Varane played well, but I think he also came slightly too late as well. So I think it's one of those where it feels like we're ending up with a Real Madrid reject a little bit. But then, to be fair, that first season, especially if it's true what he said to Ten Hag, I'll come there and I'll sort things out. And we did step up. We definitely did step up when he came. And I think It's just his aura and quality. I always say in my shows after the game, especially if he's played well, sometimes it isn't about, I mean, he's not someone that's been racing around the pitch anyway, ever. I've watched him a few times at Real Madrid, and he never was one of them people that's running around like a nutter.
Mate, before
always quite measured.
Before you carry on there, Dan, sorry to interrupt you there. I checked the stat. I've said this a few times, right? Yeah. I think Casemiro ran, it was like, it must have been about 6-7 years ago in a Copa del Rey final for Real Madrid. 8.7k, yeah? That was his like average for Real Madrid. For Man United, in his latter age and his latter end of his career, the guy's being asked to run 10 kilometers a game.
Yeah, this
granted,
is the thing.
That's the Premier League, and granted that you kind of sign up for that. But he's been part of a system ever since he got here, whether that be Ten Hag, whether that be Amorim, that hasn't helped him. It's actually the poor fella got here. He was a little bit chubby, he got into shape. So he's got the right attitude, this fella, but we haven't looked after him at all. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
That's the thing, and I think he's always needed legs around him, like he would have had a Real Madrid. So he's not really the person that's going to set plays per se. I mean, he's got a pass in him. Don't get me wrong, and he's got that little bit of Brazilian flair here and there. But he's not really the person that you're going to really play through to create chances and set plays and do 40, 50-yard switches or anything like that. It was just a simple enough game. But for me, I think it's more about I always say his nous, where he's clever at times. He knows how to take the sting out of the game. He's clever enough to know when to go down. If he's had a little bit of a clip, he can go down and take the sting out of the game. And I think just having that knowledge just to slow things down. And I think some of our younger players didn't know that. They were sort of always trying to get that goal again, when we could just like, slow it down, calm down, keep hold of the ball. And I think he knew how to get under the skin of the opposition. And he knew those, like, I always call it the dark arts.
He's got it.
You kind of have to learn that a little bit. And I think the downside or the shame, should I say, is the fact that we didn't have like a six coming through the ranks that could have learned from him. And I don't think really. I mean, we haven't replaced Keane, we haven't replaced Carrick, have we? Really? I know Casemiro came in and was sort of that to a certain extent, but we've got him at the wrong end of his career. However, I still believe he's played some decent games. I really liked him in his first season. I think the second season was a bit of a dip, and then he came back again. I think he's a little bit of, if you trust him, if you believe in him, if he's having you as a coach, you'll get the best out of him. And I think you can see that now with Carrick jumping all over him when he thought that Mount scored. I think I like to see stuff like that. So I think he'll have a good end to the season, I think. And I think it'll be one of those, just to finish off that, a little bit like Bruno, where you've got the Bruno haters who think he's just a stat padder, he doesn't do much, blah, blah, blah. But I think once he's gone, and like once Casemiro's gone, it's one of those where you're thinking, I think we miss Casemiro, because I don't know how you guys feel, but I felt there's been times, I think even this season, where he's either come off early or he's not started, and you're thinking, there's something missing here, and it's Casemiro, because, again, against Man City, I know it's not a massive barometer, but if you watch that game back, some of his interceptions are unbelievable. And just his positioning. So it's not like a case that he had to bust a gut to get somewhere. He's just in the right place. And I think he did like a bit of almost like a scissor action tackle on. I can't remember who it was who was going through. And he just got him just before they got into the 18-yard box. And he just thought, wow, because that's Casemiro at the end of his career there. And I think sometimes when he comes up against like the midfielders that are a little bit wet behind the ears type thing, he bosses them. He just knows what to do, and he doesn't need to put too much effort in, because it's all about positioning and just knowledge and experience. And I think we will miss that. And I just don't know if we're going to replace him correctly, because we haven't had a top number 6 for a long time.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's unfortunate that we haven't won more with him. Unfortunate that we are not high up in the table. So you could sort of say that we haven't particularly been successful with him, but at the same time, that's not his fault. And you've said it yourself.
We've had this conversation with Bruno, right?
Yeah, we haven't done enough to sort of protect him, in the sense of he needs 2 people around him with legs. It's as simple as that. Exactly. He needs a Tony Cruz, he needs a Modric or whatever. So yeah, that's when he thrives, where he can just sit back, intercept, pass it to the better technical players, and that's Casemiro. But yeah, I think he's been a good servant overall.
Where are you at with it? Alex?
Yeah, I think, you know what, props to the guy for coming at the stage in his career he was. And like you quoted that there, which I remember 4 years ago. Sign me and I'll sort it out, because we had that bad start to the season, didn't we, with Ten Hag? We lost 2 out of 2, the Brentford 4-0. And he did come in and sort it out. And you know what? Yes, okay, probably 350 grand a week for a 29-year-old Brazilian isn't, even at the time, you're like, oh no. But you know what? I look at his level now that he's playing with. You mentioned he had a good game against City. I think he's had a good season. The system has not suited him. And I think of that when he went into that second season, he was one of the best players in the Ten Hag first one, came third, narrowly lost that FA Cup final to City. Won the Carabao, he scored in the final as well against Newcastle. Go into that second season, you remember what Ten Hag, he went into that summer and signed Mount, and when I'm going to go with Mount and Bruno as advanced eights and leave Casemiro, 31-year-old Casemiro, on an island. And do you remember the first game of the season? I was there at Old Trafford and we played Wolves, and Cunha ran through the middle of the pitch and made Casemiro look terrible. And do you remember that was the season, one at the end of the season, the Carragher leave the football before the football leaves you. It was Ten Hag set up. It was dog shit. So I felt sorry for it. Obviously, at the time, I was probably saying the same things as Carragher, but how well he turned it around back end of last season, coming up into started the Europa League final, got back in the team. Ugarte was keeping him out the team when Amorim came in. This season, I think he's been solid. Yeah. I think this season he's been really solid. Look, 350k a week's a lot for a 33. I get the decision. I would have maybe, look, he's going to get a Saudi deal, so I know he's not going to renew on less money. I hope the club asked him, like you said, if even an Elliot Anderson or a Wharton come in, if we could have renewed Casemiro on a much less wages, obviously, I would have done it, honestly. And I never thought I'd say that in the Ten Hag last season. So, look, and he scored, you know what, as well, I think he scored a decent amount of goals. It said there, 21 goals. I bet he...
Mate, I was just about to say there, Alex, he's not... I don't think he's delivered on the reason we signed him, right? And that was, before we signed him, Ten Hag wanted Frankie de Jong. And I spoke to Dan about this on a show, and I was like, if he had got Frankie de Jong, he could still be in a job, to be honest, right? Because he just controls things, picks it up off the defense, just controls the game. That's what we were looking for, right? A midfielder that could do that. And then we ended up with Casemiro. That's not his game. That's not his game. And we were expecting him to perform that. But what he has done is the geezer's an absolute threat in the box.
Oh,
you know,
God,
he's great at headers. He arrives in the box sometimes when you're not expecting it. He nearly scored against City on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what we signed him for. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay with you being a threat in the box and contributing if you're doing your job correctly. But he hasn't done his job correctly. That part of that is the system and the different managers he's been working under. But the other part is just... he's not been good enough, I think, for the Premier League. I'm going to ask you this, Alex. If he was playing for Man City, if he was playing for Arsenal, would he have been any better? I don't know.
You know, I think just on your point, and you are right. Look, he's not been probably worth. He's not been worth. It was 65, 70. It was a big fee as well. Mega salary. I think with Cass, it was the panic week. It was the Anthony and Casemiro week. We lost to Brentford, and it was just like you said. Frankie's not coming. Remember, Arnautovic was meant. It was a mad week. And it was like, and then obviously Cass got wind of the 350k a week. I'll go there and sort it out. To be fair, came third, had a good season. Look, overall, no, it's not.
350k a week, man.
350k a week, man. So look, I don't think that. Look, at 29, City would have been phasing him out where he was when we signed him, like they did with Fernandinho, like that they're probably going to do with Rodri in a year. So we do the opposite, and we go and get him at that stage of his career. So, answer to your question, we've seen it with City. They wouldn't have signed Casemiro. They'd have been pushing him out at that age, like Real did.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. Yeah. I've loved him. I have loved him, and I'll always look back on him fondly, not badly. But that was another example of bad recruitment, if we're honest. It just
quick question then, David. Do you regard him as a flop then? What would you say he is then?
Yeah. I'd say he is a flop. Yeah, we've signed him to improve our midfield, and he didn't.
Yeah. Is
He
it in a way that like, I think you're right, by the way. I mean, I don't know if I go full flop.
I mean,
but
before
I
you,
do.
what do you guys think the same? Do you guys think the same?
I personally wouldn't say flop. I don't know what I'd call it. I wouldn't say flop. I think I know what you're saying in terms of the reason to bring him in is to do that Frankie de Jong role. I think it probably was, but he was never going to do that. He's never been that.
Yeah. Ultimately, the reason we brought him in was to improve our midfield, right, Dan? And
yeah, I mean, obviously there's plenty of players that would have improved us greatly and way more than Casemiro did. But I also think, what would we be if we didn't buy him? Because I don't mean if we didn't buy him, we bought someone that's good. That's obvious. What I'm trying to say is that we still struggle to get a number 6 that's either coming through or at their peak. So
we don't know how to sign midfielders full stop, do we? We don't. Yeah. I mean, Alex, do you think he's a flop? I know it's hard. It's a great question, Dan, because you're basically summarising what I'm saying. I think he has been a flop for what we got him for. But go on, Alex.
I think there's been a bit of letdown from the club and the recruitment side of it, because you go and buy a guy that played in a 4-3-3 with two of the best ball playing midfielders we've seen in our generation in Toni Kroos and Modric. We don't play 4-3-3, so you straight away go, you're sitting in a 2, and then by the way, there's Eriksen to play with, there's Fred, now Kobbie Mainoo. Well, you had Bruno Fernandes for this season, so I think there's been some letdown there where we've identified a player that, if you're not playing 4-3-3 with, and by the way, Kroos and Modric, we have nowhere near players of that ability. So you grab him out of that system and plug and play, and it's like, it's like you said, Dave, the midfield's not got much better. In a way, what were we thinking?
Yeah. No, I did say...
So a bit of letdown on both sides, I'd say.
I did say at the top that we've let him down.
Of course. I appreciate that.
I did say that at the top. This is not me just digging out Casemiro, right? But
an absolute flop.
we've asked him to do things that wasn't realistic for starters, especially in the team that we had, right? But overall, if you just summarize it, the truth is we signed him to improve our midfield. He didn't.
Underwhelming, you could say. I think when I think about flops, I think about, I don't know, Bebe or Jemba or Bellion. You know, they're the real flops.
I mean, but if we really rewind it, for example, Anderson, midfielder for us, he was never like our starting midfielder but he was fantastic sometimes in some games. You'd put Anderson on and he was just unbelievable. I'd put Anderson ahead of Casemiro for Man United.
Do you think we've signed a Brazilian before that's actually what we can actually say, you know what, you were top for us?
I'd say Anderson is the one.
Do you think it was top for us though?
Well, top is a strong word, but I remember performances from Anderson that was out of this world. I don't think there's. I
just think we struggle to recruit Brazilians. I don't know what it is. I think
Brazilians are overrated. That's what I think.
I mean, Anthony, Fred, and Casemiro and Anderson is some quartet. I think when Anderson first came in, I thought he was class. He was starting games in his first season when Anderson came in. He was starting games. Eric was on the bench for some of that season.
Yeah, I take your point though. We don't do great with Brazilians, but I mean, who does?
What about Cunha? At the moment? Where's Cunha landing? Is Cunha going to be a flop?
You know, I mean, but I'm telling you, that guy needs to start practicing and hitting the target.
You're worried, Dave, aren't you, with Cunha?
I am very worried. I mean, he did great for that Dorgu goal, but that was more Dorgu than it was him. I mean, he ran down the wing and just whacked it into the centre and hit. Sorry, I know I'm very negative.
I just think Liverpool did well with their
Firmino.
Brazilian. Yeah. Well, and they had who was it as well in
Alisson.
Fabinho
and
Alisson.
Yeah, they have done really well.
City have done all right as well. It's
Spine of their team.
I just don't think we do it. And we've tried the Silver Twins, we've tried it all, and I just don't think we've ever got it right. I don't know why.
Have we recruited anyone good that's other than Bruno?
I mean, the one that we almost got, Ronaldinho.
No, but you remember who we got instead? I mean, we're going down memory lane here. Yeah, we got Cristiano. We got Cristiano.
Cristiano was that?
Yeah, that was the season. Yeah, we got
Apparently,
Cristiano.
it was meant to get them both. Apparently, but I don't know how true that is.
I mean, but I mean,
we're going off on a tangent on Brazilians. I just thought I'd throw that out there because I don't think we've got a elite one yet. I don't think.
Damn right.
Yeah, I mean, to finish on that Brazilian thing, I mean, the days where Brazilians were like the most amazing thing in the world, I think that's done.
Oh no, they're not great now.
What they were producing back then compared to what they're producing now, it's not the same. You have to be fair. Just like the Dutch are not producing the same. Just like the Italians are not producing the same. But I tell you, the Portuguese always produce top quality stuff. But we never win fuck all.
You are stacked, man.
Yeah, we are stacked, but we can never. I mean, listen, we did the Euros, but we can never put it together. But all I'm saying is Brazilians, they don't seem to be producing. But back to Man United, we don't seem to be doing anything right. And this is another example of that, right? I saw this today. I don't know if this really matters to any of us. A big part of this is because a big part of this is because we didn't qualify for Europe. We're out of the domestic cups very early, so a lot of our revenue's downhill. But I think this is a bit scary, guys. I remember being younger and growing into my teens, and it was like, who's the richest club in the world? 1 year it'd be Man United, 1 year it'd be Real Madrid, 1 year it'd be Man United. I mean, it's important. Revenue is important because for many reasons, right? And to see us down the list there, behind Arsenal, behind City, behind Liverpool, I mean, we're only going to go further and further down. I don't see us going the other way, guys, to be honest with you. Is our club at risk of, I don't know, becoming a Blackburn, becoming a Leeds, disappearing down the league? I know we've got a lot of history, Dan, before you take that to complete offense. But I'm talking about the way it's happened for them, just going down the leagues and I mean, I can see us going from worse to worse, guys. I don't know how you guys think.
I think I know where well, I mean, the evidence is in front of us here. We're looking at it. Like you said, what are we doing? 7th, I dropped 4 places. Look, no European football is a huge hit. And I tell you what, the back-to-back years, we know European football, probably why there's so much pressure on this run now with Carrick. The club has to get back to qualify for Europe. I mean, look at the evidence. Spurs will jump us in another year if we... I'm
they just need a few more Beyonce concerts and they're fucking sorted.
Yeah, man. A couple of NFL games.
That's it.
So, look, I mean, dropping into... I mean, obviously Leeds went into administration. I mean, look, the finances are shocking. The Glazers have absolutely ran this club into the ground with their money and their debt. And we're now paying... There's no way out of it. All we can do is hopefully spend the money we do get well and get back into Europe. And I would think that would come back up, but... It's damning, to be honest, and it's a true reflection of the club.
How do you fight against this? Do you know what I mean? When you're in that downward spiral, both on the football field and off it, it's very difficult to find a cheat code to boost yourself back up because it's like Monopoly almost. These top 3-4 teams are, I'd say top 3 for sure. It's like they've got the Monopoly, and to break into that, you almost need someone special out of the academy, or you need to sign another Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, we need so many things to happen right for us to get back here financially and football terms. I don't see it happening, Dan. I think it's come to realization for me that I don't think we'll see Man United back until maybe I'm at least 60 years old, if I'm lucky. I'm 35 now. How do you feel about it?
I hope it's not going to take that long. Yeah, I mean, looking at that, obviously, you can sort of see why. Yeah, I mean, you can see why Sir Jim, Ineos, what if you want to call them, are penny pinching and sacking people and getting. I mean, I will never agree with Sir Alex Ferguson being off the payroll. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know he got paid a lot of money. I get all that, and I don't want to get into that. But I just think naturally to get back to where like Real Madrid, Barcelona, you name it, are. That's like you've just said yourself. You're going to have to get a hell of a lot right in combination, in sequence. It's going to have to be perfect hits on the transfer market. So you go out and buy a player. Like from now on, you go out and buy players. You got to get perfect hits. But the problem we're going to get is if we don't get into that top 4 this season, you know what it's like already. You're getting turned down by Semenyo already. And
Mm-hmm.
I like Semenyo, but
Mm.
and I'd have him. But then at the same time, I want to get back to where we're tussling and we're properly tussling with a Real Madrid or a Barcelona for a player, like properly doing that. And I think to get to that stage, you've got to be finishing in top 4 for a start, for attracting players. But I think what our problem is now is the next generation of football fans are probably not picking Manchester United, are they?
No,
You're probably, if you're lucky enough, you can force your son and daughters
and daughters. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Yeah,
to support Manchester United. I've done
Same.
the same. I'm lucky enough that I've got a 15-year-old going 16 who still supports Manchester United. I don't know how, but he still does. And I think that's one of the reasons why you still got certain generations.
That's a great point, by the way, Dan. That's a great point, by the way. And you know, players like Bruno. I know I'm a Bruno lover. I think that's very obvious. But persuading kids to support Man United, it's easier when you've got players like Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
Because he's flipping talented and does special moments. Once we get rid of him, how many more have we got to go? Hey,
and that's
my daughter, have a look at that, or my son, have a look at that. How good is he?
Yeah.
There's not many left.
Especially when this generation are more supportive of individuals than teams. Almost, it feels at times as well. So if you don't have that iconic player, then that's also going to be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, going back to the finances itself, that is terrible viewing and reading. And I think the only real way to sort of get out of this is that the Glazers have got to go. They've got to sell. But we all know this. And I don't see us getting that far that we go down to a Blackburn level, because I always feel that if things get really bad, someone from Saudi or somewhere will step in and take the club. I would imagine, purely because it's still an iconic club. I mean, you go into that shop, there's still loads of people in there buying stuff. We are the people that the team's playing on a Friday night when nobody else could really maintain that. So there's still that there. It's just that we're losing it year on year. And we need to rescue this. I am worried. Don't get me wrong. I am worried because we've watched our team play for the last few seasons, and there's times where, I'll be really honest with you, there's times where I prefer to watch the Man United women play because they were playing better football. Seriously.
Do we have to get to a point? Do we have to get to a point where we have to accept that we had glorious years, and there's a lot of fan bases that haven't had the years that us three have had? There's a lot of fan bases that haven't seen what us three have seen. Do we just have to be grateful that we saw what we saw and that we may not ever see it again?
I've been thinking myself over the last couple of years, particularly, will I ever see United win a league title again? And I think it's a legitimate question in my life, assuming I live a average life span. Will it happen? And I think, Dan, you mentioned something there about the being perfect element of this. And say we spend 250 million on 3 players every window, 4 players, give or take. We've got to be hitting on 3 out of them 4 every single year for a club that's probably hit on 1 or 2 since Fergie. Obviously, you're looking at it like, I'm very concerned, albeit the lads last summer, I think that was a pretty good summer, no doubt. Is it going to continue? You mentioned Bruno. That is coming up. I hope it's not this summer. I hope it's not next summer. What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with Bruno? I know you're probably going to come to Palmer in a minute, Dave, but seriously, the recruitment, they've got to hit. They've got to start hitting.
But that's the thing. We all these years, we've only hit once correctly, really, with Bruno Fernandes. I'm not going to count bringing Ronaldo back. Some would argue that was bad and to the detriment of the team. But let's just go with Bruno. That's probably our best signing. So how can you think and anticipate that we're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 signings correct back to back? It's just not going to happen.
Really quickly, you know what our problem's going to be, though? If we sign 4 players and only 2 of them hit, can we sign 4 players again? Because
this is it. This is
the problem.
And this is what
the money's not going to be there. The money's not going to be there.
I've got to pop it up again. This is what this table is showing that is very, very scary, guys, because we could afford, I'll put this up, we could afford to make mistakes in the 90s. We could afford to make mistakes in the early 2000s, right? Even the 2010s, we could afford to make mistakes, it seems, and recoup it, right? We can't do that anymore.
Do you think
all we do is make mistakes, guys? I know it's depressing, but when do we have to be like, we may not win the Premier League or the Champions League ever again in our lifetimes, and maybe people will click off this channel and be like, fuck that's depressing. I'm just being fucking real here.
It's the reality.
This is the emotion room. This is the emotion room.
It's a legitimate question, Dave. It's a legit question, and like I said, I've been thinking of myself.
What do you reckon?
Do you think of like when Klopp came into Liverpool and they were dossing around with Lallana, Andy Carroll, that team, and they were 7th or 8th, just complete mediocrity. And Liverpool have a great history as well, like, big rivals, but I got to admit, huge history, Liverpool. Do you think we're in a similar wave of where, and we've seen the blueprint, what did Liverpool do? Spine, right, let's sort it. Alisson hit, Van Dijk, massive hit, Fabinho hit, Salah hit. 4 massive signings they got bang on. And then your Manes, your Firminos, your Wijnaldums, they came in and they were like your finishing touches. We've got to get that spine right. And that's your Alisson, that's your Van Dijk, Fabinho,
They literally got maybe 8 signings in a row, correct? Let's have it. Yeah, almost.
Bang on.
I mean, that for me, getting 8 signings bang on in a row like that is almost as rare as Leicester winning the fucking league.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I mean, who does that? Who does that? I can't even think of another example.
And also,
8 signings correct like that.
You can't keep doing it.
Including the manager, by the way. You know when you pick the correct manager and 8 signings correct. I mean, it's just.
And also, Dave, they were shopping because of where they were in the league. And I think one of you mentioned about the pull and the United pull. I think, Dan, you mentioned about, can we battle Real Madrid and Barca? We can't. Liverpool couldn't. So obviously Salah, Roma, Van Dijk, Southampton, they were shopping at these teams that they can get players. So it's even harder. They weren't just going hand-picking. Okay, Salah was doing well in Serie A. Nobody saw this. Van Dijk was doing well. Do you remember when that Van Dijk 75 mil came up? Gary Neville nearly collapsed on Sky.
Yeah.
We were all like, what the hell are they doing? And, well, one of the biggest, if not their biggest hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's scary reading, guys. With
FFP is an issue as well, though, isn't it? That's the other side of it.
That's the other side of it. But our revenue's going so far down anyway. It's not like we can do what Man City are doing now anyway. We used to be able to kind of. I mean, we were at a point with Fergie, right, where we need a striker. Let's go and get Berbatov. You know what? That might not work. Let's go and get Tevez. That might not work. Let's go and get Van Persie. That will do. And do you know who's doing that now? Man City are doing that now. Oh, things ain't working out. Let's go get Semenyo. Oh, a few of our defenders have fallen over. Let's go get Gay. Like, I don't see us being in a position to do that ever again. Looking at that financial list. Just reading that, I never really look at money side of things because I'm a football fan, right? Ahead of all that stuff. I don't really care about that stuff. But that really is scary reading when you look at it. Because you just think to yourself, man, we could never be back ever in my lifetime. And that's a sad reality.
And off the pitch, you have to hit as well, though, don't you? So you've got to hit on the pitch with the players and the signings. You've got to hit with the coach as well. Then you've got to hit with the staff that's around him. You've got to hit with all the facilities that you've got. So obviously, Carrington looks great. That's fine. You've kind of nailed that to a certain extent. But then you've also got to hit them with the sporting side of things off the pitch and going on to marketing and stuff like that. So you've got to kind of almost like do that, almost like a rebrand where PSG flew when they got the Jordan stuff, or again, Real Madrid are always flying with stuff that they do, the sponsorship deals that they can generate. Same with Barcelona. We've got to hit there as well. And the only way of hitting there is being in the top competitions. Because even with the sponsors, because we still do well with sponsors, don't get me wrong. But every season, there's always a clause in that contract where if you don't go in the top four, you get less money. So you're getting hurt everywhere. You're getting hurt left, right, and centre.
You talk about we're doing well with sponsors. The worse and worse we get, the further and further away we get, it's gonna. Sponsors are gonna be like, Do we
Yeah,
really want to put all our eggs in our basket
Yeah.
with Man United? And I know our fan base
Yeah.
is huge, Dan, but you said it earlier. That will start to dwindle if we don't step
Yeah.
up our ideas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just found it scary reading. Moving on, we're almost there, guys. If you do need to rush off, let me know. No worries, because we just hit the hour mark, yeah?
Yeah.
This fella, he's on his way out, apparently.
Wow.
Apparently, I mean, it's all just murmurings. The transfer window's open. That's pretty normal. I quite like Zirkzee. I think he's shown potential. I mean, I had a back and forth for the last 2 months on I'd rather play him ahead of Sesko. But there's murmurings that he's going. How do you guys feel about that?
A little bit misprofile of a player, I think. And I think, again, playing him as a 9 I think he's played more games as a 9 in his United career than not, and I don't think he's a 9. I think he's more of a 10. But again, we have the best 10 in the world, maybe, or definitely one of. So signing him for me, obviously he came in at the same time as Højlund, didn't he? I think, or the year after. So, and he played as a 9. With the thing with Zirkzee, he has games with that sticky touch. Do you ever play football, even at like a lower level, where you have that one guy who can just, quite a big fella, can bring it in and hold it?
Yeah.
He reminds me a bit of that Zirkzee, where games where fired into him and it sticks, and I'm like, wow, we've got a player. And then others, he just comes and goes a little bit. I don't know, really. I don't really know what I think. I don't think he's had a fair crack at it, but I also don't think I don't know what position he is.
That's it. I think he was perfect for Amorim's system. Those 2 number 10s, right?
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't Amorim that signed him, right? And
it wasn't.
I think that suited him, being that number 10 with another number 10 and a striker in front of him. I don't see how he fits in here because he's like a 9.5, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he doesn't run in behind really. He's not the fastest. You hit the nail on the head. He's good at controlling the ball, link up play. I guess the question I'm going to ask, and I'll come to you, Dan, would you swap him for this fella?
Yeah, I would, to be honest, because at least he's a striker. At least he can take the ball. He can travel with the ball. He scores goals. Again, it's debatable whether he'll be able to transfer that over to Manchester United, but I'm not having Zirkzee personally. I mean, there's certain things he's done where I thought, yeah, that's nice, that's Zirkzee, what you've done there, but it doesn't score goals for me. He's not a striker. I don't think he's a number 10 either. So I don't think he's a number 10 in the 2-10 system, and I don't think he's a number 10 in the 4-3-3 either. I just don't think he's, personally, I don't think he's good enough. I think.
Dan? Are you having
I would, yeah. If you're going to call anybody a flop, I'd be calling him a flop, seriously, because I just don't. I've not seen enough from him. I think there's sometimes he's come onto that pitch and he's just absolutely off it in the sense of like now. There's times that if you want to call me ever been in a peak at football, but if even at my peak at football, if I was to enter that pitch in a Premier League game, I'd be in the wilderness thinking, oh my God, the speed of it, the pace of it, the strength of the players, the thought, the speed of thought as well. There's times he's come onto that pitch, especially if he's not played a couple of games, which, okay, that might be a reason for it as well, where he's just absolutely out of his depth. The game's passing him by. He doesn't track back properly. He just looks clunky for me. He looks heavy at times. Don't get me wrong, he's scored a couple of nice goals here and there, but he doesn't hit the ball properly either. I've seen him strike. He does not strike that ball properly. He's got no power in his strike whatsoever. He's coming across like a silky player, but you're not Henry. You're not a silky player at all. So I don't know what you guys are seeing in him, but I can't see it personally. I'll be happy to see the back of him. I'm happy to see the back of him.
He's not a Man United type player.
No. I think he's suited to Italy.
I was just going to say 40 mil. Was he 40?
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
You know, he's done that. He's not done anything.
Whether
it's all his fault or not, he's done now. Overall,
no, he can't header the ball either. He's shit in the air. He's got now and again. He's got some decent touches where he traps the ball all right. But again, if he doesn't play for a couple of games, his touch goes to absolute shit, and he looks like a completely different player. I'm telling you, watch a few games back when he's in and out.
You know, talking about that sticky touch that he has sometimes, and I'm saying, you know,
yeah, I agree with you on that. By the way, yeah.
You remember obviously we got Arsenal at the weekend. We've done that preview, obviously, but you know, a year ago we played them in the FA Cup, and Zirkzee came on, dropped Saliba, was it? Megged him on the halfway line.
Scored the winning penalty, right?
Scored the winning pen, and in that incident where he brings it down, sits Saliba down, and he's on a dribble, and you're like, is there a player in there?
I know. He fools you, just like when he came on that other day and puts the ball through to whoever it was. I can't remember if it was Sesko or someone.
Moments, Dave. And it's not enough for them moments.
There isn't.
He did come on the other day. I think that was Amorim was still in charge, and Zirkzee came on and assisted straight away. Who did he assist? Cunha. He assisted Cunha. Yeah. Straight away. I don't think he's been awful, but yeah. I mean, when we signed him, he scored on his debut. I don't know what I thought we got, but I mean, even when we signed him, what have we signed him for? It's a very, very, very funny signing, really, isn't it? And does he suit Man United? It's so funny, right?
But if you think of a traditional number 10, though, David, do you really think if Bruno left tomorrow, he could slot in and do what Bruno's doing?
Of course not.
At any level. I don't mean the same. I mean even half of Bruno.
No chance.
No way.
I was just about to say. No way. I remember when we signed Fellaini, right?
It's similar to him, to be fair.
It's similar to Fellaini, and you know what? I'd take Fellaini ahead of this guy 10 times over. That's how bad. That's how bad.
At least he's good in the air, Fellaini. At least he's good in the air.
Yeah, well,
that's another thing. In world football, Fellaini.
But that's how bad we've come down, That's how bad we've come down the pecking order. But going back to Mateta.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, forgot about Mateta.
Yeah.
No, all good. It's the subject of one's out. Yeah. Could one come in, right? if something happens. That's cropped out a little bit. But I said this to you the other day, and it's come out again, Dan and Alex. Amorim wanted Mateta. That's what he wanted. Yeah. He didn't even want a midfielder in this transfer window. He wanted Mateta. But I don't even think Mateta scored that many goals this year. I think he's on like 6 or 7.
I mean, again, he's not elite, is he? He's not like it's not a player that City are going to go for example, or Arsenal. But can he do a job? Now, I think he can do a job. Can he do a better job than what Sesko's doing at the moment? I think he can.
Wow.
I think he can, in terms of his confidence at the minute is relatively prem-proven, you could say. He's a nuisance, isn't he, as well? He is a nuisance.
He can
score goals. I'm not saying he's prolific, but he can come on. He could come on as a sub-cart and cause and make an effect. For example, or he can start games as well.
I think,
but it's not the first person I'd sign. No way.
No. But if he's available in January,
I don't think
available in January, would you sign him?
I would anyway.
You know what? Like going back to the bench thing, I thought obviously I looked at it on Saturday, and I know it came into play when we were beating City, and Cunha came on, had impact. Sesko unused sub, and you know what? We do need. I do miss having a strong bench. Our great side. You mentioned Berbatov. We had Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo at that time. Oh, we've got Berbatov as well. Obviously, 99. We had 2 strikers on the bench at all times, and one of them came on. We know the rest of that story.
There's Van Nistelrooy out.
Deja out. Again, Dan Saha went and got Louis Saha in January. Didn't really need him.
Even Alan Smith.
So, do you think that I think United fans and myself to a degree get a little bit caught up in, who's going to be on the bench? Like as if we need a bench. Arsenal,
we need a bench. We do.
2 teams. City have 2 teams. We cannot be like going, is Ahmad on the bench? He's in Boom on the bench. We need a bench. I think if this guy's available, 16, 14, and 8 this year. The guy can score goals. We need players on the bench that you can turn to. He's a handful. His goal scoring record's quite good, boys. I mean, 16, 14, and 8. It's not bad.
Yeah, and I think people say, we need a starter. We need a starter. The thing is, you can still put a starter on the bench. And what I mean by that, I said it earlier, is that you can bring Mateta in, and he doesn't have to start every game, but he's a starter. He's good enough to start, but he might not start every game. There's nothing wrong with that. And it also ups the competition. So I think it was yourself, Alex, said when Cunha came on and he looked on it, he looked at it. And it's because the competition's there. He's thought, that place is mine if I'm fit. It wasn't against City. It wasn't against City. So then when you finally came on, Dorgu took your position. Dorgu's been playing well. You came onto the pitch and thought, you know what? I've got to show what I can do now. And that's what you want. You want players to come on that pitch and say, you need to start me that next game. I'm going to give you no option but to start me next game. And we've not had that for a very, very long time.
40 million is what's being quoted, though. 40 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, that. It's a lot of money. And that, and again, that has to hit. I know it's only 40 million, and City could pay that and think, well, it's not worked. That
Every
would
penny
still
counts.
need to hit for us. That would
This
still
is
need
it.
to hit for us.
This is where I'm
Mm.
at. This is where we're
Yeah.
going to start becoming a bit tentative with who we
Because
sign
does
as well.
he win you a league or a Champions League?
Yeah, well,
No.
No.
But
Yeah.
does he up the ceiling a little bit? Yeah. But what are we after here, boys? This is the problem.
Yeah.
What are we
Well-
after? What do we do? Where do we want to go next?
Are we after this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cole
okay.
Palmer, Man United fan.
Yeah.
He
That's
is.
why I think it's just, as they say, as the famous Man United content creator, is it spin? There's talk he's not happy at Chelsea.
Is he overhyped? Is he overrated?
I think so. I think he's a great player, but again,
He's
people
got
were
moments,
comparing
hasn't he?
him. People were comparing him to Bruno, right? You must be smoking something. He could come here and learn something from Bruno. That's for sure. That's where I'm going with this conversation.
I mean,
Is this a Bruno replacement? If we could get him.
Well, look,
I don't even know if there is a Bruno replacement. Just
No, I
really quickly,
agree.
I'll let Alex
You're
go.
preaching
I
to
don't
the
think there is
choir.
one.
You're preaching to the
Yeah,
choir
no,
here,
I,
mate.
well, yeah,
Take it away,
totally,
Alex.
I totally echo that. I mean, look, we're going to be faced with this. I mean, we nearly had it in the summer just gone, where Bruno had the Saudi offer. Could have it again this summer. I hope he stays, and I hope we're not faced with it. I mean, look, Cole Palmer is in contract till 2033, so it's going to be a monster fee. There's 7 years left, and them Chelsea ridiculous deals. It means you're going to have to pay. The guy, I think, has been struggling physically a little bit. I think he obviously, the Club World Cup has impacted. Yeah, the Club World Cup, 7 games, scored in the final. Fair play to the guy against Paris, and I think they won it. Did he get 2 in the final? And I think it's impacted his Prem season massively. He's not got going, has he? Not got going at all.
No.
Is he a right winger or is he a number 10 as well? That's another
That's the thing. I don't know what he is. I must admit, I don't know what he is.
Bruno, there's no arguing. He's the best 10. One of the best 10s in his career in Europe at most of the time. This guy, Pochettino, had him on the right because he was like, I don't know if I can carry him as a 10. So with Bruno,
he was phenomenal last year, wasn't he? Last season, he was phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dave, the only thing with it, do you think there's a little bit of penalties stat pad in there with Cole Palmer?
But Bruno's got an element of that as well. You've got you do have to look at how these players play football. And
there's past the stats. Yeah.
I test. He is a fantastic footballer.
Yeah, great in transition as well.
I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, this is someone.
But what do you think his position is, David? Because I'm honest, I don't know what his position is.
I think he is a number 10, right? I don't think he's got enough pace to be a winger, to be honest with you. And I'd like Man United to go back to having some wingers, if that makes sense. Like people that actually beat their man and cross the fucking wall. So long now, I'm fed up with our wingers cutting in on their flipping foot and only having 1 foot. And Ahmad's very much like that. 1 foot Ahmad, in my opinion, But, I mean, I don't think
it's like an inverted winger, isn't it, in a sense? I don't even know if he's a number 10, really.
This inverted nonsense. It really annoys me. Just go old school. I mean, how a professional footballer that's earning over 200k a week or whatever hasn't got a left and a right foot is beyond me, by the way. I just think that's totally unacceptable.
I don't get that.
I don't understand it.
It was refreshing at the weekend, wasn't it, to see right-footed Cunha whipping a cross in and the left-footed winger coming in and scoring it.
That's it. That's it.
It's a simple game, like overcomplicated.
Simple game. Football is simple.
It's as simple as that, right? And I'm just kind of fed up of having people on the wing that are not fucking wingers. Like they're just not. Their first thought is to come inside into trouble. Their first thought is, who can I dribble past like they're playing on the estate? No, this is a football pitch. Beat your man. Play the percentage. You know what I mean? Like,
is it your? I mean, I'm interested. Is it your least favorite genre of footballer? The cut in and shoot merchants who can't shoot.
We might be going off a tangent here, but I think Pep Guardiola's ruined football.
Garnacho, Neto, Martinelli. They can't shoot. They keep shooting. I cannot stand them.
Oh, that used to wind me up when Garnacho were doing it and Rashford were doing it. Oh, that used to drive me insane.
Daniel just said here, we need a man like Antonio Valencia. We covered number 7s in a few shows back.
I saw that, yeah.
This is what we need, like someone that actually goes. What Cunha did on the weekend is exactly what Antonio Valencia used to do. Yeah. He didn't even need to beat a man, Antonio Valencia. He'd get an inch, not a yard, an inch. And his first thought was, does that ball cross in? Yes, it does. Let me put it in. And you know what that does to the rest of the team? I know what he's going to do. He's going to whip the ball in. And you can't stop it sometimes. You can't stop it.
Yeah, you might see more of it under Carrick potentially, because I think he did a lot
I
of it
really
at
hope we
Middlesbrough.
do.
So we'll
But
see.
back to Cole Palmer and Cole Palmer.
Hey.
And yeah, to finish on that, the last question I'll ask on him, and then we'll move into our last little bit, and then we're done, guys. Sorry. Do you think if we signed him, he is we just spoke about we can't miss on signings anymore? Is he a miss? If we signed him, would that be a miss signing?
It's going to cost, isn't it? It's going to be.
What do you reckon?
Cost.
100 mil?
100
mil?
mil.
More
Okay,
than that?
100 mil. 100 mil worries me, honestly, with Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
However, you said it perfectly. There's no replacement for Fernandes. So, where do you go shopping? Where do you go shopping? Like, if is there another name someone can shout me? Because I can't think of any.
I can't think of any.
Even just you mentioned we can't battle Barca Madrid. Era of football that's not as good as what it was. I think we all.
And it's crazy. Our whole fan base says they can't wait to get rid of Bruno, and it's gonna fix us.
Be careful what you wish for.
It's gonna fix us, you know. But yeah, I hear you. I don't think that Cole Palmer thing will happen, but it's an interesting one. I don't think it will. It is an interesting one.
You could sign worse. What I'll say is you can sign a worse number 10 than him. I just
think it's a little bit individualistic for me though, because I don't know if it was last season. There was that time where were we winning or was he drawing, and then all of a sudden he just like quick succession scored 2 goals, and it just felt a little bit too individualistic for me at times. Again, the problem is you're going to be comparing him to Bruno, and it just isn't the same. They're not the same player anyway, so it's unfair to be fair. But would it hit?
The thing is, Dan,
because of how much you'd have to pay for him, I'd say it wouldn't.
There was comparisons last year with him and Bruno, you know, because
of output of goals.
Statistically,
Bruno has the output, right? He has everything, Bruno.
I mean, he's got, right? Palmer's good in transition though. Got quite a good stride to him. Pretty good ball carrier. Again, he's not like an elite.
You still lose leadership as well, though, don't you, with Bruno? Because I know people say he's not a leader, but I think you're still going to lose leadership as well. Yeah. Whereas I don't see that.
Cole Palmer's so quiet on the pitch. He looks.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not. I'm not a huge fan in that sense. But I'm just putting it out there. He is top quality. I will give him that. Would you spend 100 million on him? I'm not sure you would, right? And I hear you. Right, last little bit, right? Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Did you see that, Dad? Or did you miss it?
Yeah. I saw the clip on Twitter, I think. On X.
My first thoughts are like, I'm going to end this with a little bit of a fucking putting Arsenal in their place a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
They look great, right? They're top of the league. They're top of the Champions League. And if they go on and win the Champions League and win the Premier League this season, then their fans and Theo Walcott can potentially ask this question. But how dare you ask this question when you haven't won anything yet? You know, if you've got an FA Cup to your name in a 6-7 year project. But you're asking questions like this. Maybe I'm too harsh here, but you can ask questions like this when Man City wins a treble. Do you know what I mean? They won the treble. Yeah. They did the 4P. Of course, you could start comparing them to Manchester United teams that had Cristiano Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov, Scholes, Rio, Vidic, Evra. I mean, Van der Sar. I've just swung them all out there. I mean, do any of the Arsenal players get into that team? Do any of the Arsenal players get into that team? No. You've got this Wally who could barely play football, let's be honest. He was fast. Asking questions like this. What do you think about this, Alex?
I think I agree. I think even Walcott checked himself, didn't he, when he almost said it where, do you compare? Not how would you, I know he changed his question quite quickly where it was like, how do you think you would get on in a game? But at first he was like, do you compare? And he went, oh, no, sorry, I know you compare. Damn right, we don't compare. That's where you're wrong. We absolutely, and Rooney's right. We're back. Look, right, this Arsenal side, and look, I know they're top of this Champions League. They're top of the Prem. They aren't exactly blowing anything away, in my opinion. And if we win on Sunday, a big if, clearly, and City beat bottom of the league Wolves, this amazing Arsenal side is 4 points above a disjointed City side. So, and he's asking this question to one of the best teams in Prem history, which is that 08 team.
This is it.
Stacked, by the way. The bench. We go back to the bench. Nani, Anderson, bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, it's not even like that. It's
Nani would get into their team now.
fuck,
Yeah,
I'm right.
Yeah.
For me, they don't have a winger
and
that
he could
touches
barely
him.
get in. He could barely get into that team, the United team. Then,
Yeah,
But this is. I'm not all Arsenal fans. You can't paint everyone with the same brush.
No.
But this is why I cannot accept Arsenal winning the Premier League. I cannot accept them being successful because this is their attitude before they've even won anything.
If they won the quad,
Oh,
where would we find you, Dave?
Oh, mate, yeah, it's done, isn't it? It's done. I mean, let's finish on that, right? What do you think they can do, Dan, this year? What do you think? Do you think they can win? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the quad. I mean, fuck, that ain't coming out of my fucking mouth. Sorry. What do you think they can do this year, Dan?
Arsenal.
Yeah. I know you don't give a shit about them like I don't, but
I don't, to be fair. But yeah, yeah. Obviously, I think I did have at the start of the season that City were going to win the league, but I don't see it happening now. So I'd say they're going to get the league. They're doing all right in Champions League, aren't they? Problem is, though, Real Madrid aren't the same. Barcelona aren't quite the same.
I just feel like those teams can turn it on, though, in the big stage.
Yeah, they can. And I think have PSG burnt out a little bit, maybe. So it's their best year to start looking at anything like a treble or a quad. This is their best year to do it.
It seems like, not to take anything away from them, everyone's underperforming, isn't it? Everyone is underperforming.
This is it.
But yeah,
I mean, I know it's harsh to say that.
It is harsh, but I don't care.
There's always arguments to say there aren't enough teams performing, but I think they'll probably get 2 cups, personally. Is what I think.
What do you think that is? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I'm thinking
Carabao and FA Cup.
Oh, mate, imagine.
No, I think they will get the league. I think they'll get the league, and I'm thinking league and FA Cup or Carabao Cup, one of them two. I just can't see them doing the Champions League. I can't see them doing a quad. I just can't see it. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to see it, but I just can't see it. I just don't think I can see it. I think hopefully either a combination of a PSG, a Barcelona, or Real Madrid just step up at the right time, or even just a wild card like a Dortmund or something. Just do something. But I can't see it being 4. I think they'll get 2 cups though. Is what I think they'll get.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I think. Look, the Carabao should be in the bag because from what I've seen from City, and if Chelsea aren't turning around a 1-goal deficit in the second leg, so they're already in the final of that. And what I've seen of City, unless there's something I'm missing, or Guardiola's going to sort something out in the final in a month, I don't see him beating Arsenal in a final. I know they've got that bottle job, but they're not going to lose to City, this City team anyway. So that's 1. Prem, I can't see City winning the Prem. So that's 2. Champions League, what I'll say is no, but there'll be a tough out because they're good defensively. And I think they'll be a bit like Simeone's Atletico, where they'll probably be very tough, but they will flop. I'm going to go semis. I think they'll flop in the semis. FA Cup, whatever, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, so you think they do a 2. Double? 2,
I think they'll do the double FA Cup. I suppose a lot relies on the draw, albeit like what is a tough draw to Arsenal. They should be beating everybody in the FA Cup.
They should be beating everybody, yeah.
Villa away could be, like a Villa away or something like that could be the issue there. I think 2 are in the bag though, Dave, and I'm interested to see what you think here, mate.
I'll be honest, this is more of a prayer than a prediction, but if we beat them this weekend, I think their fan base will go into a frenzy. And it will open the door for City to get their act together and Semenyo and Gay to maybe deliver, right? So that's my last hope. And it's my team that can save it. And I know some will be watching. So you want City to win the league ahead of Arsenal? Yeah, I do, mate. I cannot stand Arsenal, right? So I'm hoping we beat them this weekend. That won't happen, but I'm hoping we do. Derail their season. And if they lose the Carabao Cup final, right, that will be it. They're fucked after that. I think they'll absolutely capitulate. That's what I'm hoping. This is what I'm hoping for every night and praying for every night. Yeah, we
0%
chance this weekend.
Champions League day for you. 0%.
Yeah, 0% Champions
really,
League.
yeah.
I'll go out here and say it. Yeah. I don't think they've got the pedigree for it.
No.
I think you need pedigree for that.
I just think this is their best season to do it though, because I'm not seeing enough from those top sides. I'm not seeing enough from the top sides.
It's early days technically. Technically, this is the group stage.
Because for me, like even like Real Madrid, let's see what happens with that new coach. But I think Mbappe is stifling that team at the minute. Let's see if it changes. But I just think it is. I think when you had Vinny Jr. just going nuts and Bellingham on top of his game, I just don't think they're the same team personally. So you could bank on them stopping a City or stopping an Arsenal now. Barcelona, I don't know with Barcelona because they have their
Rashford always scores against Arsenal.
Yeah, they have their moments, and I think I'd back Barca in a final though. I'd back Barca in a final.
That's a good side, man.
With Flick.
That's a good side.
Whether they can get there.
Bayern Munich.
I don't know. I haven't really seen what they've been like.
Arsenal fans will say they beat Bayern Munich this year already. So so Bayern, if we beat, because they
Harry Kane to haunt them, but
because they've beaten them already, they're irrelevant. They're not a football team.
I think this is their best season to do it, though. Seriously, it's their best season to do it.
Right. I think Arsenal win absolutely fuck all once again.
Absolutely nothing. No league, no Champions League,
nothing.
No cups.
That's a shout. Cups.
Get a bet on. Get a bet on.
And you might be right. And it's gonna be the worst meltdown.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
It'd be biblical, mate.
I'm tuning into AFTV, Robert, DR Sports, Troops, you name it. I'll be loving that day.
I think there's a likelihood, and it starts with, and we'll end it on that. It starts with Alex's prediction that Manchester United are going to beat them this weekend, right?
Okay.
If we do that, I think they capitulate and it starts going from bad to worse for the Arteta train.
You know what will happen though? We'll beat Arsenal. Wolves will beat City.
Yeah. So if really quickly then, David, if Arsenal don't win the league, who wins the league?
I think it can only be Man City, right? Like I said, I've given my explanation for that. I've given my explanation for that. I think if we beat Arsenal this weekend, that's the lifeline City need. And they need their two signings that they've gone into desperation mode and got. Two good players, by the way, Semenyo and Gay. And mate, if they step up, then and City come out of this little run, it's possible. I hear you guys, but it's hard for me to accept that Arsenal could win a double of some sort, especially with one of them being the Premier League. But
could Liverpool sneak back in there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, how many points?
What about us if we win?
How many points are Carrick United behind them? You know,
if we win at the weekend, it's 12. I've already looked.
12. Oh my God, it's
squeaky bum time.
Right, guys, listen, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for being here for so long, an hour 27 minutes. I didn't realize we were going to be that long. I appreciate both of you guys. Please go and subscribe to the Football Brotherhood, Alex and Christian's channel. One's a Man City fan, one's a Man United fan. It is great watching. If you are a Man United fan, go and watch Christian's video reacting to that game because it was very emotional, and that's what I like to see. Obviously, please go and subscribe to Dan Talks United. He's here every Monday with me in every show. He's fantastic. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you so much. Guys, it's been emotional in the emotion room. We'll catch up very soon and hopefully in a good mood after this weekend. Catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Latest, people. Yes. Latest.